Eric was standing in line at his favorite coffee shop when his phone buzzed. A text from his old friend Mark. Casual. Harmless. Except for the photo attached. Yo, bro, your wife in Vegas? Weird you're not there. Eric frowned, opening the image. A sunlit pool. Tan bodies. Cocktail glasses sweating in the desert heat. And right in the center, draped over a man's lap like she belonged there, Olivia. Laughing, relaxed, glowing. His fingers tightened around the phone. Mark had no idea what kind of bomb he just dropped. For a moment, Eric just stood there, a mechanical smile on his face as he accepted his coffee from the barista. His mind felt oddly calm, like a machine smoothly shifting gears. Then, as he walked out, his grip loosened, and he let out a quiet chuckle. Olivia thought she was untouchable, that she could lie to his face, take his money, and spend it on her little vacation with another man's family. Her arrogance was astonishing. She told him she had a work retreat. She even kissed him goodbye at the airport. He had paid for that plane ticket, the hotel, the entire trip. Eric slid into his car and tapped open his banking app. With a few quick swipes, he froze all her cards. A pleasant wave of satisfaction rolled through him. Not rage, not pain, just a simple, calculated move. Checkmate. He put his phone down and drove back to his office, humming along to the radio. It wasn't until 3 hours later that the call started. First, a sweet, almost apologetic, "Hey, babe. Call me when you can." Then another. Then 5 more. The voicemails evolved from soft confusion to frantic urgency. And then a rage. "Eric, what the hell? Why are my cards declining? I'm stranded. You need to delete." Another voicemail. "Answer me right now. Delete." He could picture it. Olivia at some fancy Vegas restaurant, the check arriving, her smirk faltering as her card was declined, her smile fading as she tried another, and another, and then panic. Eric leaned back in his chair, exhaling slowly. He wasn't done. Not yet. Olivia had spent years perfecting the art of deception. He had let it slide for too long. But now? Now she was going to learn what it meant to lose control. Eric refreshed his banking app one more time, watching the failed transaction notifications pile up. Vegas Strip. Luxury boutique. 5-star restaurant. Casino. Declined. 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 She was scrambling. His phone vibrated against the desk. Incoming call, Olivia. He let it ring. A text popped up. "Eric, something's wrong with my cards. Call me ASAP. I need you." He smirked. Need him. Oh, now she needed him. He leaned back, picturing her. A high-end restaurant, half-eaten Wagyu steak in front of her. She reaches for her designer purse, the one he paid for, slides out a gold card, and hands it to the waiter with a smug smile. A moment later, the waiter returns, leaning in too quietly. Guests at nearby tables pretend not to listen. "Ma'am, this card was declined." Olivia blinks. Laughs. "Oh, that's ridiculous. Try this one." Declined. Another. Declined. Her smile tightens. The restaurant feels smaller. Jake shifts beside her, checking his phone, pretending not to notice. Babe? Something wrong. I'm sure it's just a glitch," she mutters. But she feels it. A cold trickle of dread running down her spine. She tries Venmo. Frozen. Apple Pay? Nothing. Her stomach clenches. She knows. Eric did this. The waiter clears his throat. "Ma'am, how would you like to settle the bill?" Her skin burns. Jake shifts uncomfortably. I didn't really bring my, I wasn't planning to." She turns to him, her perfect little fantasy cracking apart at the edges. "Are you serious right now?" Jake shrugs. I don't really, I don't pay for her." She wants to scream. Eric pictured it all. The tension, the humiliation, the way Jake, her glorious upgrade from a boring IT guy, was already checking out. Eric picked up his phone and, for the first time, answered. The silence on the other end was immediate. Then, her voice. Too soft. Too sweet. "Babe, thank God. There's been some kind of issue with the bank. I don't know what's happening, but I'm stuck here and there. He let her talk. Let her dig. Let her squirm. Then, finally, he spoke. His voice was calm. Too calm. Must be tough. Huh? A pause. Eric. A nervous laugh. Honey, listen. You're in Vegas, Olivia. Her breath hitched. He continued. Not at a work event. Not on a business retreat. He let the silence hang, feeling her squirm even through the phone. You're there with Jake. The silence turned heavy. Then, finally, she broke. Eric, please, she whispered. It's not what you think. A lie. Instant. He smiled. Olivia. Another pause. You paid for this trip, she blurted. You. Why would you do this to me? Ah. There it was. Not an apology. Not regret. Just pure, undiluted rage that he caught her. Eric leaned back, smiling wider. This trip, he said, his voice measured, steady, dangerous, was a gift. From me. To you. His smile vanished. But gifts can be taken back. The line went dead. The moment the call ended, Eric exhaled slowly, feeling a strange, exhilarating calm settle over him. He wasn't finished. Not even close. He stood, rolling his shoulders, his mind already working 2 steps ahead. Olivia had no idea just how deep the hole was that she had just fallen into. Her trip wasn't just about Vegas. It wasn't just about Jake. It was about control. For years, she had controlled the narrative, the image, the perfect illusion, the doting wife, the responsible partner, the woman who supported her husband's business, who understood his long hours, who loved him despite his workaholic nature. And yet, while he built an empire, she built a lie. And now? Now it was time for demolition. His phone buzzed again. Olivia. Again. Desperate. He let it ring. Then another text. Eric, please, you don't understand. I need to talk to you. He smirked. Did she? Because from where he was sitting, he understood perfectly. He turned his chair slightly, gazing at the second monitor on his desk. A few clicks, a few keystrokes, and suddenly, her entire online footprint unfolded in front of him. Venmo transactions, Instagram check-ins, hotel reservations, a digital breadcrumb trail of her lies, all in neat, time-stamped order. She thought she had covered her tracks. But the thing about being married to an IT guy, you don't cover tracks. You leave them. Eric tapped on a particular folder. Olivia travel receipts. One document stood out. Her work retreat itinerary. A complete forgery. The dates, the hotel, the fake emails to her boss. She had gone all in. His lips pressed together in something that wasn't quite a smile. He tapped his screen again, this time opening their joint credit statements. And there it was. $1,000 spa package. Private pool cabanas. A 5-course meal for 2. She hadn't just betrayed him. She had celebrated it. His phone rang again. Olivia. This time he answered. Her voice hit him immediately, breathless, panicked. Eric, I need you to listen to me, okay? Something crazy happened, and my cards. Your cards. His voice was calm. Too calm. A sharp inhale from the other end. Why, yeah, they're not working, and I think maybe the bank flagged something, or maybe, he said, his tone dipping into something colder, something that made her pause. Your husband finally decided to stop financing his wife's vacation with another man. Silence. A single, stunned beat. Then, her voice shifted. The panic morphed. Not into fear, not into regret, but into rage. Are you kidding me right now? She snapped, her voice razor sharp. Eric, what the hell is wrong with you? You just what? Cut me off? In the middle of a trip? Do you have any idea how embarrassing this is? He let her rant. Let her explode. Let her spill out all her frustration, her anger, her entitlement. And then, when she was done, he laughed. Low, quiet, dangerous. Olivia, he said, his voice almost amused. I haven't even started. The line went dead. And Eric? Eric was just getting warmed up. Eric leaned back in his chair, tapping his fingers on the desk. He could practically see her, standing in some overpriced hotel lobby, her face burning with humiliation, her voice sharp enough to slice through glass. Embarrassing? That was her concern? Not the fact that she'd been caught. Not the betrayal. Not the marriage she'd just torched. No. She was mad because she got caught at the wrong time. He stood, stretching, rolling his neck, feeling the tension melt away. Olivia was unraveling faster than he expected. And the best part? She had nowhere to run. Her knight in shining gym shorts, Jake, was as useless as expected. Eric knew guys like him. The type that loved playing the savior when it was easy. When the girl they were sneaking around with had a safety net. But the moment that net was gone, poof. Jake would be out the door before she even had time to fake a tear. And Olivia? She was about to learn exactly what it felt like to be abandoned. Eric picked up his phone, opened his email, and started typing. To the Venetian Resort Customer Service. Subject: fraudulent charges on my account. Dear Customer Service, I recently noticed several unauthorized transactions made at your resort under my name. I believe my personal and financial information may have been used without my consent. Could you please assist in disputing these charges and ensuring that my account is no longer associated with any ongoing stays or expenses at your establishment? Thank you for your help. He hit send and exhaled slowly. Within the hour, the hotel would receive a notice. Within 2, Olivia's entire stay would be flagged. No room, no comp meals, no poolside service. She wouldn't even be able to step foot in the lobby without security getting involved. And that was just the beginning. His phone vibrated again. Another call. He let it go to voicemail, but this time he listened. Olivia's voice was cracking now, the fake anger giving way to something closer to fear. Eric, please. I don't know what's happening, but they're saying I have to pay for the room myself, and now. A muffled voice in the background. A man. Jake. Eric grinned, turning the volume up. Jake's voice was lower, irritated. I'm not covering this, Olivia. I thought you said your husband wouldn't find out. Her breath hitched. He wasn't supposed to. Jake scoffed. Well, he did. And I'm not about to drop thousands just because your little plan fell apart. Silence. Then Olivia's voice again, desperate. Jake, please. I just need a little. Nope, Jake cut her off. I'm not a bank. You figure it out. Click. Eric's smile stretched wider. She had officially lost everything. Her backup plan? Gone. Her luxurious getaway? Ruined. Her perfect little world? Crumbling. And now? Now she had to crawl. He leaned back, waiting. The next time she called, he'd answer. And he'd make her beg. The next call came 15 minutes later. Eric let it ring twice before answering, his tone calm, almost bored. Olivia. The other end of the line was a disaster. Loud voices. Frantic shuffling. A woman, probably a hotel employee, speaking in clipped, professional tones. And Olivia? She sounded nothing like the woman he had married. Eric. She breathed, her voice raw, frantic. I need your help. He stayed silent. Let her stew in it. She tried again. Something's wrong with my bank. They won't let me pay for the room. And Jake is being a complete. She stopped herself. But Eric already knew the words she wanted to say. Useless. Because that's exactly what Jake was. A temporary thrill. A fantasy. But when reality hit, Jake ran. And now Olivia was standing in a Vegas hotel lobby, alone, broke, and out of options. Eric exhaled through his nose, amused. So, let me get this straight, he said, voice smooth. You're asking me, the husband you just cheated on, to help you pay for the trip you took with your boyfriend? A sharp inhale on the other end. I wasn't. Don't lie. His tone was different this time. Hard. Unyielding. Olivia froze. He could hear the shift in her breath. Eric had never spoken to her like this before. She tried again, adjusting her approach. Her voice softened. Eric, listen, she said gently. I made a mistake, okay? I should have told you, but you didn't, he cut in. You lied. You took my money. You planned a trip behind my back, and you laughed about it while sitting next to your boyfriend's mother. She gasped. You? I know everything. Silence. Absolute, crushing silence. She had nowhere to go. No fake story. No clever twist. He had her cornered. Then, her voice cracked. Eric, please, she whispered, pathetic now. I don't have any money. I just need a ticket home. I'll explain everything, I swear. Oh, there it was. The begging. He let that sit in the air for a moment before responding, voice low, merciless. That sounds like a you problem. She sputtered. Are you serious? You're just going to leave me here? What am I supposed to do? Eric checked his watch. Well, he mused. You could always ask Jake. Oh, wait. He left. A choked noise escaped her throat. She knew. He knew. And now, she had to live with it. She tried one last time. Eric, I know I messed up, she said, voice trembling. But you don't have to be cruel. 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 Eric almost laughed. Cruel would have been letting her go on believing she could get away with this. Cruel would have been giving her the ticket home, then serving her divorce papers the second she walked through the door. But this was justice. Eric sighed, feigning disappointment. You know, Olivia, I always wondered what would happen if you ever got caught. He leaned forward, gripping his phone just a little tighter. Now I know. And then he hung up. Eric stared at his phone for a moment, watching as Olivia's name blinked on the screen again. She was spiraling. Good. He ignored the call, leaned back in his chair, and exhaled. For the first time in years, he felt completely in control. But he wasn't finished. Not yet. Olivia was still grasping at straws. She still believed there was a way out, that she could talk her way back into his wallet, that he would eventually cave, swoop in, and save her. But Eric was done saving people who didn't deserve it. His phone buzzed again, this time. A text. Eric, I know you're reading these. At least be a man and call me back. Ah. So she was switching tactics. Now she was trying to provoke him. He smirked. Classic Olivia. When charm didn't work, she attacked. And when that didn't work, she played the victim. And that was exactly what she was about to do. Eric already knew what would happen next. She'd start reaching out to mutual friends, spinning a new story. The poor, abandoned wife. The hard-working woman who had made one little mistake, only for her cold, heartless husband to destroy her. She'd play on their sympathy, manipulate, twist. And if he wasn't careful, some of them might even believe her. But Eric had anticipated that too. He scrolled through his contacts, found a familiar name, and hit dial. Mark picked up after 2 rings. Yo, man, what's up? Eric didn't waste time. I know you saw Olivia's little Vegas trip. A pause. Then, a low whistle. Dude, I was gonna say something, but I didn't want to stir her. She's about to start lying to everyone, Eric interrupted. She'll say I left her stranded, that I'm abusing her financially. Another pause. Then, a chuckle. That does sound like her. Eric's grip tightened on his phone. I need you to get ahead of it. Mark didn't hesitate. Say no more. I'll let the guys know. Perfect. One by one, Olivia's safety nets were snapping shut. Her credit? Gone. Her affair? Exposed. Her social circle? Already turning against her. And just when she thought things couldn't get any worse, they would. Because Eric wasn't just taking her money. He was about to take the one thing Olivia had always cared about most. Her reputation. Eric closed the call with Mark and immediately got to work. Olivia thought she had mastered the art of deception. She had spent years weaving an image of herself as the perfect wife, gracious, loving, the kind of woman who would never do something as low as cheat. And she might have gotten away with it if she had married a fool. But Eric wasn't a fool. He was a strategist. She had spent years perfecting the con. And now, he was going to burn it down. He opened his laptop, clicked on a shared Google Drive he and Olivia had used for years. Photos, documents, conversations, everything they had built together. Or rather, everything he had built. A quick search for Vegas brought up exactly what he was looking for. Receipts, hotel bookings, Olivia's own damn emails confirming her work trip, which, conveniently, were forwarded to her personal email instead of her office. Eric smiled. Sloppy. Then, he found something even better. A screenshot, one she had taken herself, of a conversation with her best friend, Emma. Emma, does Eric suspect anything? Olivia. No. LOL. He's so busy with work, he doesn't have a clue. I could take his credit card and buy a damn Ferrari, and he wouldn't even notice. Eric let out a slow breath. His wife, the woman he had provided for, protected, loved, had laughed about him behind his back. His fingers hovered over the keyboard, his mind racing with possibilities. Then, a thought. She had spent years making sure people saw her as the perfect wife. She thrived on approval. She needed people to adore her, to envy her, to see her as the effortlessly classy woman who had it all. So what would happen if he took that away? One by one, Eric began forwarding the receipts, screenshots, and messages. Not just to their close friends. Not just to her family. But to her job. To the very company where she had claimed she was on a work retreat. A simple, polite email. Dear HR team, I wanted to clarify something regarding Olivia's recent work trip. I noticed several personal expenses under my account, and I'd like to confirm if this was a company-sanctioned event or a personal getaway. Please let me know if I need to dispute these charges further. Best. Eric. Send. Within minutes, his inbox dinged. HR. Eric, this is very concerning. Olivia was not sent on any company trip. We need to speak with her immediately. Oh, Olivia. If she thought getting stranded in Vegas was rock bottom, she had no idea how much further she was about to fall. Eric refreshed his inbox, watching the corporate fallout unfold in real time. Another email from Olivia's company landed. HR. Eric, we've attempted to reach Olivia regarding this issue, but she's unresponsive. Could you provide us with any additional details? He leaned back in his chair, satisfied. Olivia was spiraling. She was too busy scrambling in Vegas to realize her entire life was crumbling behind her. The phone rang again. Olivia. He let it ring. Then another text. Eric, I need you to listen. Please. I don't care about the money. Just get me out of here. Oh, now she didn't care about the money? He smirked. Too late. The next call he answered wouldn't be hers. It would be from her employer. And sure enough, 10 minutes later, his phone buzzed with an unfamiliar number. He picked up. This is Eric. A stiff voice came through. Olivia's HR manager. Mr. Carter, I'm sorry to bother you, but we need to clarify some things regarding your wife's recent actions. Eric kept his voice measured. Of course. What seems to be the issue? A brief pause. Then, we've just reviewed her past travel records. There are multiple discrepancies. It appears that Olivia has been expensing personal trips as work-related for months. Eric's eyebrows lifted. Oh, Olivia. You were dumber than I thought. The HR manager continued. Obviously, we take fraud very seriously. If these transactions weren't authorized by you, we'll need to involve our legal department. Eric almost laughed. Olivia was about to lose everything. Her marriage. Her money. And now? Her job. He exhaled, keeping his voice neutral. I'll cooperate in any way I can. The manager hesitated. I don't mean to overstep, Mr. Carter, but has Olivia been struggling financially? Eric smiled coldly. Oh, she's about to. The call ended. Eric sat in silence, the weight of victory settling around him. And then, his phone lit up again. Olivia. She was out of options. No money. No backup plan. Nowhere to run. This time, Eric answered. The moment the line connected, Olivia's voice burst through. Eric, listen to me. Her breath was ragged, her tone unhinged. They're kicking me out of the hotel. They locked me out of my room. My stuff is still inside, and they're saying I need to pay to get it back. Her voice broke. I don't have anywhere to go. Eric let the silence drag. Then, when she was just desperate enough, he chuckled. Low. Amused. Almost pitying. Oh, Olivia. He could almost see her flinch. I'm sure you'll figure something out. And then, just as she sputtered in disbelief. He hung up. Eric exhaled slowly, setting his phone down on the desk. That was it. Olivia was officially out of options. No money, no hotel, no Jake. And now, with her company investigating her for fraud, she had just lost the one thing that mattered most to her, her carefully constructed image. Eric leaned back, closing his eyes for a moment. He could almost see her, standing outside that Vegas hotel, phone gripped in shaking hands, desperate, humiliated, completely powerless. She was finally feeling what it was like to be nothing, and it was exactly what she deserved. His phone buzzed again. Another voicemail. He played it on speaker, listening to the meltdown unfold. Eric, I swear, if you don't help me, I will. She cut herself off. Even now, in absolute freefall, she was trying to regain control. Eric smirked. Pathetic. Then came the texts. Eric, I know I hurt you, but you're taking this too far. Can we just talk? Please. Eric, I am your wife. He watched them roll in, each one more desperate than the last. And then, the final shift. If you don't help me, I swear to God I will tell everyone that you were the one cheating. Eric raised an eyebrow. There it was. The last, pathetic card she had left to play. He chuckled, shaking his head. Olivia was grasping at air. And the best part? He had already won. His phone buzzed again. Another call, but not from Olivia. Eric glanced at the name. Emma, Olivia's best friend. Interesting. He answered. Emma. A deep sigh came from the other end. Frustrated. Eric, listen. I just talked to Olivia. She's losing it. Eric smirked. I know. A pause. Then, a resigned. Look, she's obviously a mess, but she's saying some crazy stuff. About you. About the marriage. Eric leaned forward, already knowing exactly where this was going. She's trying to flip the story, isn't she? He said. Emma exhaled. Yeah. She's telling people that you were the one stepping out. That you got paranoid and did all of this out of guilt. Eric laughed. Actually laughed. Of course she is. Yeah. Well, here's the problem. Nobody is buying it. Eric stopped. What? Emma let out a bitter chuckle. Eric, you're a lot of things, but a cheater? Please. The only thing you cheat on is sleep. He smirked. True. She tried calling Mark, too. Emma continued. And he straight up told her she deserved whatever was happening. She freaked out, started yelling, saying she needed real friends. Emma sighed. But, Eric, she doesn't have any left. Eric didn't respond. He just let that sink in. Olivia had spent years curating the perfect social circle. People who admired her, envied her, thought she was untouchable. But the moment the truth came out, they abandoned her like she never existed. Eric finally spoke. So what does she want now? Emma hesitated. She wants you to pay for her flight home. Eric almost spit out his drink. She really had no shame. Emma sighed. Look, I don't care what you do. I just figured you should know that she's at rock bottom. And she's got nowhere left to go. Eric smirked, his fingers tapping against the desk. Good, he said. And then he hung up. Eric placed his phone down, exhaling as the weight of complete victory settled over him. Olivia was done. No money, no hotel, no job, no friends. And now, no way home. It was poetic. For years, she had taken everything from him. His trust, his generosity, his patience. She had bled him dry while laughing behind his back. And now, she was the one stranded. His phone vibrated again. Another text. Eric, please. Just one ticket. I swear I'll pay you back. I just need to get out of here. Eric smirked. Pay him back? With what? She had nothing left to offer. And that's when he realized. She wasn't begging for money. She was begging for mercy. His response was simple. Figure it out, Olivia. And with that, he blocked her number. She was officially someone else's problem. Eric leaned back, feeling a peace he hadn't felt in years. This wasn't just revenge. It was justice. And Olivia? She had finally learned what it meant to lose. Eric slept better that night than he had in years. No tension, no stress, no Olivia. By morning, his phone was silent. No missed calls. No messages. Because Olivia was gone. Not physically. No, she was still stranded in Vegas, probably crying in an airport terminal, trying to charm some poor fool into buying her a ticket. But in his life, she no longer existed. He checked his email. One last update from her company. Eric, after our internal review, we've decided to terminate Olivia's employment effective immediately. We appreciate your cooperation in this matter. He smirked. Perfect. He clicked out of his inbox, opened his bank app, and scanned through his accounts. Not a single cent was missing. For the first time in years, his finances were his again. No unexplained charges. No luxury purchases under her name. No more draining his account to fund her fantasy life. Just him. The weight was gone. He grabbed his keys and stepped outside, inhaling the crisp morning air. A new chapter had started. And Olivia? She was nothing more than a bad investment that had finally gone bankrupt.